Take a look at this. The Empire State Building lit up in pink. This was in memory of Dolly Parton last night from 9:25 to 10:25 after she passed away yesterday at 80 years old. They picked that time specifically paying tribute 9:25.
Oh,
there.
I love that. Yeah.
A tribute to obviously her hit song that so many of us know. So many tributes pouring in for her this morning, and obviously they're going to be for quite some time. We're going to talk about her local impact too when we come back here. But it is 6:01 as you start your Wednesday morning. We hope that you had a beautiful day yesterday. We're able to get out and enjoy it, or maybe spend some time indoors, but things are changing for us a little bit later this evening.
Yeah, they sure are. Right now you're okay as you're getting into the car, getting the kids ready to head off to the school bus stop, but it's tonight, maybe on that drive home, when we're a little worried about some of the storms.
I think most of our kids can get to school and get back okay.
Okay.
And a lot of the games that we have, if they're right after school, those should be fine too. It's later this evening during maybe homework time to getting ready for bed. That was to back some of those storms. She said you have to put up with the rain if you want a rainbow.
Okay.
So
right.
she's right.
Thank you, Dolly.
And we may get a little bit of rain. I don't know if you'll see the rainbow because it's going to be getting dark when these storms start arriving. We're in the 50s and 60s now. It's a comfortable start this morning. It's also a dry start. We have some partly cloudy skies across central Indiana. Here in the city, we're at 64, but 62 in Muncie, not a bad start. Same around Lafayette this morning, and 63. Good morning in Bloomington. So overall, a nice school day is expected. You'll notice it'll be a little bit warmer, more mid-70s for lunch and recess, and by the time we're headed home, we'll be in the 80s, but I still think we're dry. Those storms should be later. There's a level 2 severe risk north and west of Indy, level 1 to the east and to the south. Storms will start north. They'll be isolated at first, they'll become scattered, but there'll probably be a broken line of storms, which means there may be little breaks between the cells. So not everyone gets hit head on with the strongest storm. And gradually, once they come through Indy, I do think they'll be slowly weakening. That's why you have that cut off to a level 1. This morning, there could be the spottiest of showers out towards the west. I'm not sure if all these will survive, and not everything's reaching the ground. But this front will be the one that sparks storms north and then brings them south throughout the late evening hours. So coming up, we'll talk more about the timing of when you can expect some storms where you live. But at least it's a nice dry start this morning, Lindsay.
Yes, it is. And we're now starting to see traffic picking up here coming into the South Split. Here's a live look where I-65 northbound splits off to I-70 westbound and 65 north, where we're starting to see a little bit of a delay here as traffic starts to pick up here as we get closer to that peak morning rush. Do want to show you what it looks like from the opposite direction. This is coming into the South Split, looking north from the Raymond Street on and off ramp system, where we've got some lane restrictions in place here as construction continues on that safety and efficiency project along 65 north. No major delay right now, but we are keeping an eye on that traffic flow. We'll let you know if you see any delays that could add some extra time to your morning commute.
Well, Governor Mike Braun says FEMA approved his request for a major disaster declaration for the state.
The Indiana Department of Homeland Security and FEMA now will provide a joint briefing later today to give all the details to those with the next steps. This follows storms 2 weeks ago, of course, that caused that historic flooding and widespread damage to communities across Indiana. The disaster declaration means more individuals and public assistance from the federal government. The type of assistance available is really based on what county you live in. 21 counties were approved for individual and household assistance. 11 were approved for public assistance. So we do have a county by county breakdown on what's available for you online. Just head to WTHR.com/flooding. And today, Gleaners will host an emergency mobile distribution event. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett says the goal here is to support residents impacted by the flooding. And it's the Indiana Math and Science Academy North building that's holding this. It's at 74th and Keystone. It runs from 5 until 7.
Well, now to an update to get the power back on in northwest Indiana after thousands of Hoosiers spent the last 2 weeks in the dark. As of 9 o'clock last night, NIPSCO said that just about 100 customers who lost power during the August 11 storms are still waiting for their lights to come back on. NIPSCO set a deadline themselves of 11:59 p.m. Central Time last night, saying they'd have the power fully back on for everyone then. The next scheduled update is expected in about 2 hours, so we're monitoring their website for any early updates on that status that we can share.
Well, we do have an update to a story we brought you first on 13 Sunrise yesterday. IMPD continuing to investigate after a baby was found abandoned behind a shopping center here in Indy.
Sad reality, this is the second time that a baby was found abandoned in Indianapolis in less than a month. Callie Lichter is live this morning in that center with more on the search from police for answers. Good morning.
Good morning. Thankfully, the baby that was found behind this shopping center on the city's southeast side is okay. And now police's investigation turns to finding that baby's mother. Now, IMPD says they got the call around 7 p.m. on Monday, just behind the strip mall off of East Thompson Road. Again, on Indy's southeast side. We now know that baby was found in a carrier thanks to a 911 call from a concerned citizen who noticed something wasn't right. Police want to find the baby's mother, who they believe intentionally left the infant in that carrier behind the shopping center. They stress there are options for mothers who cannot care for their children that don't involve charges. They're asking anyone who has any information on what happened here Monday night to come forward so they can have answers for this child.
Maybe somebody knows something. We've seen that in recent stories, another incident like this, and community members were huge in playing a part. We, as IMPD, cannot do this alone, and we continue to say that. We have great officers who did a great job, great detectives who have done a great job, but we need that community's help. We can't do this alone.
IMPD did not share the baby's exact age or gender. They're continuing to review surveillance video in the area. Now, Indiana does have options for mothers who, need to give up their child under the state's safe haven law. We spoke to the woman behind the safe haven baby boxes, and we have more from her coming up later this hour, guys.
All right, very important information to share, so we'll check back in with you soon. Thank you, Callie.
This morning, remembering one of the world's most beloved entertainers. Dolly Parton passed away yesterday at 80 years old. You're seeing some of the flowers left at her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Queen of Country was born in a small cabin in Tennessee. She wrote her first song at the age of 6 and started performing when she was just 13 years old.
She sold over 100 million records and won 11 Grammys, putting her among the best-selling recording artists in history. She was also a star on the silver screen with movies like 9 to 5 and Still Magnolias among some of her most famous credits. So many across the country are mourning the loss of this country music icon this morning.
And her impact is being felt here in Indiana. Governor Mike Braun ordering flags to fly at half-staff in her honor today. Marina Silva is in studio with a look back at Dolly's extraordinary life and the legacy she leaves behind in words. Good morning.
Good morning, and it is quite the legacy. She could fill an arena with her music, but Dolly Parton's reach went far beyond the stage. From Jolene to 9 to 5 and more than 40 years of Dollywood, she gave us the soundtrack to generations of lives. But the songs are only part of the story. Tributes are pouring in this morning, including right here in Indiana. Sarah Phillips is an IU professor who actually teaches a course on Dolly Parton. She says that there's a real sense of grief among the people who study and admire her.
I think it was a hard realization for many of us Dolly fans and Dolly experts, if you will, that she was mortal. And so it's been a day filled with grief. It's been a day filled with exchanging lots of heartfelt messages with people who really appreciated Dolly.
Well, just last week, Parton said she'd lost a step after losing her husband in 2025, but she wasn't ready to leave the stage just yet. She spent her life making music, but some of her biggest work never involved a microphone. Her imagination library has put millions of books into the hands of children, including right here in central Indiana. And back in April, they expanded it to the whole state. So, and it's just really a way for kids to get those books every month.
Started in her home county, and not even just across the country, but worldwide. This is
all
now
over,
really grown. Yeah.
And I have friends that their kids are signed up for this, and it's so cute because they'll get so excited. They're like, "I've got mail, I've got a present," and it's a book.
All right, thanks, Marina.
And they're great books too, and they kind of follow the reading level as the child gets older. They're fantastic. We're dry right now. We'll stay mainly dry throughout the day, but coming up, we do need to talk about the timing of when you could expect some storms, possibly severe, here later this evening.